Representative Moran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the panel for being here today. I've got lots to ask. I'll try to move quickly through it, but what you're doing here today is super important to help inform us as member of Congress, but also the public at large about the real threat that the CCP poses if we do not win this AI race. I'm convinced that one of the things that is so great about America is that our innovators are better than anybody. And if we will just get out of the way and let them innovate, I think we can certainly win this. But oftentimes we get in our own way. And then we don't realize what we need to be doing outside of our borders to push back against those that would do harm to the United States. As I learn more and as I listen to you guys today, Mr. Clark, you said we need to win the race. That was one of the things you said was absolutely most important. I agree with you. And so I want to ask you, Mr. Beal said a couple things specifically we could do to win the race is to pass the Remote Access Security Act and then also grapple with this open source problem of letting the CCP get information that it shouldn't through those open source documents. But Mr. Clark, let's go back to winning the race. What's the number one thing that we are not doing that we should be doing to win this race?
Just making me choose one means I have to pause for a moment. I think the fundamental thing is power. And then if I was allowed to add two more, I'd say power and then compute, ensuring you have enough compute resources. And then the third thing would be ensuring we have the necessary infrastructure in the US government to help us have confidence about developing the standards for this technology and the means by which we assure its safety and security.
Yeah, I agree with you about the power and the grid itself. I just had a meeting this morning actually with a number of energy companies in diverse ways of providing energy. So without respect to actually how we provide the energy, the necessity to get more load on the grid is an absolute. Otherwise, we can't have the computing power that we need to win the AI race through these facilities we need to build. Do you guys have a specific, I'll let you guys all answer, do you have a specific suggestion as to how we should go about doing that? I know there's some partisan differences there, but where can we find consensus on how to drive forward with getting more load on the grid?
We would be happy to follow up for a more detailed private conversation, but our number one idea is just work backwards from the goal of having 50 gigawatts of net new capacity for use by frontier AI in 2027 and figure out how well postured the US is for that, identify any blockers that exist, and find a path through.
Dr. Mencken, let me come back to you with that first question. What is it that we're not doing that you'd say we absolutely must do?
Well, I certainly think that the private sector is moving forward. Mr. Clark talked about what can be done there. I think government has an important role to try to slow down the Chinese. I think being more mindful of that. And I think, again, there's some measures that have already been passed, others that are under consideration that can help do that. Being mindful of what the Chinese are doing and slow them down.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm learning more about is how AI works behind the scenes as we're going through this process. The development of our current AI model certainly is different than when software engineers developed software a long time ago. Instead of a programmer writing each rule, a system will follow. The system itself effectively writes the rules based on the question it needs to answer or is trying to answer. It's my understanding that AI systems will soon have the capability to conduct its own research and development and effectively write its own rules and programming. AI will be able to predict then the issues it will need to solve and do it in ways sometimes that we can't control. Mr. Clark, how do you think the U.S. can best harness automated AI research and development while ensuring the Chinese AI systems do not generate the same capabilities? And I'll come to you, Mr. Beal, as well for that same question.
This is a fundamental opportunity and challenge. We need to urgently resource our intelligence community to understand how advanced Chinese AI systems are and whether they're capable of AI R&D. At the same time, we need to work closely with industry in the US to understand AI R&D and its potential risks. Just to illustrate, you wouldn't want an AI system that very occasionally tries to blackmail you to design its own successor. So you need to work on the safety issues of AI R&D or else you will lose the race.
And Mr. Beal, as you answer this question, I'm running out of time. I also want to know, where is the red line? You guys have talked about that a little bit today, but I want to get a definite understanding of where is the red line where we cannot allow the Chinese to cross over.
This is an excellent question, sir. I think, the first thing I would say is that AI systems are not really built, they're grown. It's like there's no science here, it's alchemy. So like there's lots of fuzziness about how these systems work. We can't really break them open and reason about all these details. You touched on a very critical point, though. This is the automated R&D part. So once you have an AGI level system that could take control of its own destiny and build itself and build its successors, to me, that's the very clear red line in which the danger starts. And that's where we have to get the government involved in testing and evaluation and get the upskilling of the U.S. government so they can understand what's happening and make good recommendations to you. Thank you.
I absolutely agree, and I think that that's a critical red line that harkens back to the days of when we established ourselves as a superpower in a number of different ways. I do think there's a resetting. We have to win this race, as was stated earlier. Thank you, gentlemen. I yield back.